Yes,
this specifically Christmases, yes.
Yeah.
So anything you can think. I mean, this is for me, so I can go through it afterwards.
Right.
Do you recollect?
Well, the story of little Frank, evacuee again, just turned 5 really, just started school. Was evacuated. Little Frank, you know the type, always got a runny nose, anything free going, nix. Anyway, they decided he could go in a school play. School play he went, and he was chosen to be Joseph. Did it very well, till he came to the bit, where the 3 wise men come up and offer the gifts.
Yeah.
Gold, silver, frankincense and myrrh.
Yeah.
So they started crying. What are you crying for? Well, he said, I don't like these, he said. They keep making fun of me. Making fun of you? Why? What do you mean? He said, well, they kept saying Frank's got no sense, and myrrh, he said. I might have nits, he said, but I haven't got myrrh.
Where was that? Where was
that was when I was evacuated the second time.
Yeah, where were you then?
That was Ely.
In Norfolk? Norfolk? Yeah.
Nearly Norfolk, yes. Yes, I thought I'd just tell you that
That's a nice one.
little story. And of course, there's the story of the one Christmas, we were doing a little concert there with Mrs. Davis, and she said she'd forgotten her notes. Her house was near to the church. It was in the church hall. So she said, go, Margaret, she said, and get me my notes off the table. So these kids said, village kids, they said to me, I'll take the shortcut, go over the churchyard, and her house is right next door to it. They'd gone all round the road, you see. It was getting dark. So I was being brave. Off I went, with all these flat tombstones and that. And all of a sudden there's this apparition rising up from this flat tombstone, and I flew back into the hall. Oh, there's a ghost out there, there's a ghost out there. Oh, it was only the old, what do they call them, the old tramp.
Oh.
And they knew this, see.
How old were you?
Oh, then I must have been, let me think now, I must have been about 11, I suppose. Not very old anyway. That was two funny things.
So when you, now let's get this straight, when you first went, that was in 39 in the first
That was in 39,
wave.
yes.
Then when did you come back?
I came back just before the Christmas.
Oh, so the first 39 you had at home?
That's right, yes. Yes.
What do you remember that? Do you remember anything?
39, not very much.
Snow, wasn't it? I managed to find
yeah.
Snow? Do you remember the snow?
Yes, I remember the snow and having to get a bit of coal, I know that, from the coal yard in the old pram.
Oh.
Yeah, pulling the old pram along with the coal on it.
You got the job of doing that?
I got the job of doing that. My stepmother, she sent me doing that.
You got that presumably from the... Oh, from
the coal yard.
Oh,
See,
right.
they had a sort of coal yard, and we used to go and get the coal from the coal yard. But I think Christmases, I mean, we were never sort of well off.
No.
So Christmas had to be sort of make yourself do sort of thing, you know, you make your own presents, even make your own Christmas tree.
Can you remember any presents?
Oh, yes. I remember I had a stuffed dog. And I couldn't think what you put in this dog. Actually, it was a pillow, you know, it was what you put your nightie in sort of thing, like that's what you put on your bed.
Yeah.
And I stuffed it.
And who made that? You made that? Or no, somebody made that for you?
No, somebody made that for me. And I know it was made of that stuffing stuff, and they all came undone, and I got it all over the bed.
Like K-pop?
K-pop stuff.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't sort of like straw.
Oh, right. Like horsehair kind of stuff.
That's right, yeah. But it come all over the bed, I know that. And of course there was the hot water bottle cover that somebody had knitted and forgot to put the top on. Yes, someone of my little friends, she made me a hot water bottle cover. She forgot to put not to do the top, so you could get the bottle in. See, and she knitted all the way round.
Oh, so what did you have to do?
So I had to unpick it. Yeah.
What about the homemade Christmas tree, you said? Yeah.
Oh yes, that was a good one. That was. They all used to collect the twigs off the trees, you know, and the branches from the hedgerows, and sort of spray them silver, stick them in an earthenware pot, and hang things on them, you know. And of course, I don't know if you remember those balls we used to have, but they had something inside them and all sort of mesh and silver paper.
Yeah.
And you used to hang them up on a bit of elastic, so they used to be bing, like that, you know. Yeah, so there used to be that.
Tree.
And then, of course, there was the sort of pipe cleaning things that we used to do. We used to make sort of little dolls. We used to bend them over, wind wool round them, and sort of put a pin at the back, and that was a brooch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, I still make them now. And there was the, of course, the acorns. You get the cups.
Yes.
We used to spray them.
Yeah.
And have them as brooches as well. All sorts of things like that.
That's really clever, isn't it?
Yeah, things, all things that we used to think about doing like that. And of course, there was always the stocking, apple, orange, a few nuts.
Yeah.
And if you were lucky, you'd have a penny. You know, not a pillowcase like the kids have
No,
now.
no, stocking on the end of the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you aware of how were you as far as Father Christmas went at that time?
Oh,
You're
no.
too old for that, weren't you? I
Yeah,
mean,
Father Christmas, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you have?
The little ones.
Did you have younger brothers or
I had a
sisters?
little sister.
How old was she?
She was only about 2. She wasn't very old.
Did she get excited for Christmas?
She did.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a lovely little thing. She was.
What about Christmas decorations? You said about the Christmas tree.
Well, we used to make the decorations, you know, out there. Well, the children still do, I think, out the strips.
Yes.
But like chains.
Yes.
No, like
Yeah.
that.
They come ready gum now, but
Yeah, but years ago, you had to lick them yourself and do it.
yeah.
Yeah. Because the sugar mice, still had sugar mice.
Managed to get those even during the war.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, at least, I don't know where she got them from, but she always used to got, well, 2. A pink one for me and a white one for Maureen.
Right, now, moving on, then you were back, but then you went again, right, evacuated
Yes,
again. And
yes.
when did you go the second time?
Oh, the second time was when the Blitz started, and the borough, because we moved over to North London,
Right.
Crouch End, from Holloway to Crouch End, and the borough said, I think the borough said anyway, that the children had to go. And we went from the town hall. That was a rather lonely piece because you didn't know anybody.
This was not with the school?
This wasn't with the school. No, you know, you're loads of children, don't know where they all come from, but didn't know them at all.
And this was to Ely?
This was to Ely, the doctor's wife.
Was she nice?
She was very nice. She was, well, them both were nice, but she didn't see much of the doctor. But they had been missionaries out in India. And of course they lived in a large house. And I wasn't the only evacuee because she had a teacher as evacuee and a couple of students and a couple of posh boys from that school at Ely where they wear the funny hat. College thing, you know. Oh, they were devils, they were. And me and another girl who was my sworn enemy. She was. I don't know where she came from, but she wasn't English. And she had huge glasses and big fluffy hair like that, and she was right snotty, you know. She was horrible.
And how old was she?
Oh, she was about 2 years older than me.
So you're about 12 by now, yeah?
And of course, we couldn't play in the house. We had a shed down the bottom of the garden because she also had a cook and a housekeeper and a couple of maids and a gardener. They had a lot. But you still had to do your work because you know you still had to help. She used to take me along to go around visiting the mums, the babies, because she was also a WVS woman. Did a lot of war work, she did. And one day we discovered this trunk in this shed because her children used to play out in there. So she had about 3 children, all grown up now, of course. And it was full of missionary things, the old pith helmet, you know, and things with big flowers on and things like that. You know, we used to dress up in that. It used to be great fun. That was the things found in the old stuff. Yes.
Now, were you there for that Christmas? Were you there for Christmas
Yes,
40?
I was there for the
So what was Christmas 1940 like now, away from home?
now, that was a nice Christmas because I don't know where she dug the Christmas tree up from, but you know, she did.
A real one?
A real one. It was a real Christmas tree, and it was all done up and it stood in the hall, and all the prayers in the morning.
Well, they would have been a very religious family, presumably.
They were missionaries. Oh yes.
So you had to do it as well?
I had to do it as well.
Church, everything?
Church and everything. Sunday school, church. It was right pain in the neck. And of course, she was very strict about that. And of course we weren't allowed to sit in the dining room with the rest of the grown-ups. We had to sit at a special table by the window. And of course they had a thing about curry in those days, being missionaries out in India. So I think it was the day after Christmas, because I know that the rest of the turkey, and they had a turkey.
You had a turkey on Christmas Day?
Turkey on Christmas. I presume it was a turkey, but I'd never tasted turkey, but I presume it was. Anyway, it was all floating in this horrible stuff.
This is Boxing Day now.
It was the Boxing Day. So, that's what it was, you know, as two girls like, and these two boys from this posh school. What was in there? She said it was curry. Revolting. So, while they weren't looking, we gently eased up the big bay window we were sitting by, with on our little table, and tipped the lot out on the ground outside. And of course she looks across. Oh, she turns around like that and looks down, you know. She said, "Oh, you finished it?" So we all looked at her. "Yes." "Oh, well, have some more." So she rang the bell and the maid came in and brought some more. Well, we didn't stick it outside the window this time. So of course we had to eat it. But it was revolting.
Did he make a mess outside the window?
Yeah.
Did she find out?
I don't know, but she never said anything. I don't know. But anyway, we told the maid, you know, don't give us that. Don't like it. I don't know. It's horrible, all this turkey stuff floating about. But she had a thing about curry. She thought it was nourishing.
You wouldn't know what it was at all, I suppose.
I didn't know what it was. No.
And what about presents? Did you get any presents that
Yes,
Christmas?
she was very good. She gave us all presents. Very useful presents, mind. I mean...
Can you remember what you got?
Yeah, I got a needle, thread, in a little box. You know, very useful.
And did your parents manage to see you at all that Christmas?
No.
So did you get a card or, you know?
I got a card, as far as I remember, that my parents weren't... having a young stepmother and my father having a little one. No, the less I was seen, the better.
So that really became your family that Christmas,
yes,
certainly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what did it, going back on the 39 one, what did you have for Christmas? They had turkey and then curried turkey in 40.
Yes.
What did you have in 39? Can you remember
39.
that one? You wouldn't have had a turkey?
Oh, no, my stepmother wouldn't have done a turkey. No, it would have been a bit of lamb if she could have got it, I suppose. Yes, she wasn't a particularly good cook. But, no, she did her best. I honestly can't remember what I got for dinner, but as I say, Mrs. Davis's Christmas was what stuck out in my mind.
Did you do any carol singing?
Oh, a carol singing, oh yes.
Up there, this is at Ely?
Up at Ely,
yeah.
Oh yes, oh it was lovely.
Yeah.
To go to the cathedral, you know.
Yeah.
Well, she made us a lantern, or somebody did, and we did the thing right, you know. Rehearsal beforehand, and I don't think we got any money though.
Did people go round carol singing?
Yes, we still went round carol singing.
You went round
as well?
Yes,
I went round.
As an evacuee, do you?
As evacuee, oh yes. Well, Mrs. Davis was into everything, you see.
Was that for charity, or was or kind of could you collect money, or what did you get as a result? Or did you get a treat when you?
No. She being a missionary, all went in sort of a missionary box. You know, even in them days, she had a missionary box.
So who did you carol sing with?
Oh well, there was the two boys and this girl that was my enemy, and a few more village children, a few mothers, I think.
Did you get on all right with the village children, generally speaking?
Generally speaking, well, it was a love-hate relationship. It was, you know, it tolerated you sort of thing. You spoke different, you spoke funny,
yeah.
You know.
Then when did you come back from Norfolk? From Ely?
From Ely, no, it's near Cambridge.
It's not Norfolk, is it? It's Cambridge.
No, it's Cambridge. Let me see, when did I come back? Well, if I tell you that I was 14, I left the school at 14, the village school at Ely at 14. So what would that be?
Well, you were 11 in 39, so...
Yes, so 3-4 years, wasn't it? About, more or less, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, and as I say, Mrs. Davis put an ad in the paper when I was 14. Because I had to leave school.
Mrs. Davis was...
My foster.
She was the missionary one.
She was also the bulletin officer.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I come to be
because you said you were the last...
Because I was the last one in the hall. But I think I did well there, because she was great.
So you were there Christmas 1940, then you must have had 41 there as well, and 42.
Right, and 42, that's right. Yes.
And did you see your parents at all during
Yes,
that
I
time?
saw them once. As I say, they weren't very close to me. And that was, I think, they brought me up a pair of shoes. These horrible clodhopper shoes, laces.
So
Horrible.
Christmas, the other two Christmases would have followed the same pattern as 1914?
More or less, yeah. Certainly getting bigger.
Can you remember any other presents you got?
Yes. I can remember I got a knitted scarf off the teacher that was also relative to Mrs. Davis. Knitted scarf. Clothes, you see. Mrs. Davis had a well, being a member of the WVS, she had access to clothes of all description, really. I mean, she had a sort of warehouse full of clothes. So I really was quite well off in that respect. Yeah. So, and of course, I repaid her by doing, I always had a domestic way, and she taught me a lot. If the maids were off sick, I used to ask, can I make the beds? Yeah. And then she'd say, oh, yes. And then I had an interest in cooking. So the cook took me under her wing. And I did the errands. And I had a bike, well, I couldn't ride a bike. And it was miles too big for me. And I come shooting out the gates, not looking, and a car pulled up. That was the first time I rode a bike.
Got told off for that, did you?
Got told off for that. But I used to do things like that, you see, because this old cook, she interested me. Because, I mean, she had a kitchen range just like that one out there. Yeah. And this...
She did all the cooking.
She did all the cooking.
But you had nice Christmas dinners all the time, apart from the curry.
Yeah, apart from the curry. There's the same sort of thing for the curry. Oh, yeah.
Christmas pudding?
Yes, but it was made, I think the cook told me, with carrots.
Carrots.
It was made with carrots. Quite nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah, steamed. Quite nice. But she was grand old.
So then you came back, right? And by now you're getting grown up.
Yes.
Now what happened to you?
What, you mean when I came back to work?
Yes, you said Mrs.
London?
Davis put an advert.
Oh, yes, and this lady, she, the farmer's wife, she answered the advert. I was interviewed. Mrs. Davis's front row took me on. I think it was 10 shillings a week and all found on this farm. Very lonely place it was. And she had one of those, is it Arga cooker?
Yes.
Where you have the top pulled out, yeah. I couldn't get on with that at all. Anyway, she put me to churn the butter, and that was interesting, but that was very hard work. And feed that sort of thing, feed chickens and things like that. Make myself generally useful. But it was so lonely. I only used to have the Saturday off. They bought me a bike to ride into Ely. And I got myself a young man, one of the village lads, and we used to go together, all gamblers. Go to pictures and then fish and chips afterwards and that sort of thing, and then all that long ride back. And then I just got fed up with that, and I asked my dad if I could come home.
So you didn't have a Christmas on the farm? No, you missed that one?
No, I missed that.
You were back in London?
I was back, yeah. And then, of course, my stepmother and I didn't really latch on to each other. So I answered this advertisement for the hospital, military hospital. And I was taken on there, and I learnt my cooking skills in there. And I was there until till I got married at 22. So I was there quite a time.
So you then had some more Christmases back in London?
Oh, yes.
But with the family or not with the family? Because you said you didn't particularly get on.
No. The Christmas holiday, holiday, yeah. But it was a holiday because you used to be waited on, the kitchen staff,
This is at the hospital?
This is at the hospital. I'm jumping from one thing to another.
That's right.
But you used to be waited on, because by the nurses and the matron.
Normally or not normally?
Not,
this
no,
is just
at the Christmas, right. When you'd be sitting down, the domestic staff, the cooks were sitting down, and you'd be waited on. But of course you had to prepare everything first.
Was that nice?
That was lovely.
What did you have? What kind of food would you get then?
Oh well, I think we had a large joint, if I can remember rightly. Of course, all the vegetables were from the garden.
In the hospital garden?
The hospital garden, yeah. And I think it was a large joint as far as I can remember.
Did they decorate the hospital as well?
Oh yes, the walls were decorated. Kitchen had a bit of a holly up and that. But it was hard work.
Did you see people on the wards as well? Did you ever get
Oh
around
yes. The office, the mental cases, shell shock we used to call them.
They were military. Was it an all military hospital, was it?
Yes. Oh yes.
So they were all war cases, basically?
All war cases, yes. All some suicides as well. It used to be dreadful. If you ever saw a shell shock person.
What kind of Christmas did they manage to have in the hospital?
Oh well, we'll try to make it as good as possible, but all right when they're getting on the mend, but they'd be restrained sometimes.
Did they try and sort of have a sort of Christmas?
Oh yes.
Sing
songs? They could, you know. Because if you ever saw shell shock cases, they're very depressed, they're very inward, you know, they are very sick.
Yeah.
I think sometimes more so than if you had an arm or a leg or something like that.
Yeah.
Physical. Mentally, it's really horrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you had Christmas in the hospitals?
Yes, Christmas in the hospital.
But did you buy one of the presents then? Did you manage to...
Yes.
Little things,
yes. Oh yes. And of course, you couldn't get cream for your face in them days, you know, so I'd got this old recipe at this old book. I think I showed it to you. I got that old recipe book at home.
Yes.
You showed the children?
Yes.
Well, it was take half a pound of lard, right, mix it with some, glycerine, and put it on your face, you see. They were going to eat you. Well, what was it? So I made this up in little jars for a Christmas present. Thought I was, you know, it smelled putrid. Especially when it were off a bit, because it had no preservatives. Well, I didn't know this. See? So, of course, I made up all these lovely little jars. I'd been around the kitchen collecting fish paste jars. See?
I hope you washed those out.
Put this cream in it, wrapped it up nice, and gave it to my friends, you see. I couldn't get face cream or anything, so they tried it. The next morning they come in and they said to me, that face cream you give us, it's all on the pillar. I can't get it off.
Well, these people you work with as well,
yeah? The people I work with. It's done nothing for our complexion. Oh, it's really funny. Anyway, I did try. Oh, it was funny. It's not funny now, but I mean, it was funny at the time.
Did you do any singing and that? Did you put on any entertainments or anything like that for each other in the hospital or with friends? Or what did you get up to, you know?
Oh, what did I get up to? Oh, now that'd be telling a secret, wouldn't it?
Keep it decent.
This is only for you. Well.
Black man.
Oh, I used to go out with the Americans in them days, you see, growing up.
At the time, yeah.
And very nice they were too, you know. I mean, say what you like, I mean, they were very genuinely like.
Yeah.
And I made quite a good few friends, and there was one I was particularly fond of, and his name was Rose. He was in the paratroop, the 8th Paratroop Corps. Anyway, he was killed on D-Day. And I was really upset about this.
Yeah.
And I had a lovely letter from his mother.
In America?
In America, yeah. So I don't know if things had gone...
Yes, you
I might have married him. But I remember D-Day as plain as anything, because D-Day, I mean, I went into the toilet and knew to be drones of planes coming over. And I just went in there and cried my eyes out and had a little prayer. I'm not a praying person, but I did.
Yes.
Yes.
So did you, and say the Christmas before that, because that's 44, so the Christmas 43, did you know the Americans then? Did that make a difference to your Christmas or not? Did you?
Well, yes, it did actually, because I mean, you got candy. See, you got candy, you got silk stockings. I mean, let's face it, you did.
Well, they were better off and
they
more
were better
supplied.
off. I mean, my husband now, I mean, he was only a friend then. I mean, he was in the Navy, and I used to write and tell him about all these things I was getting off these Americans. he started to send me some home then, some silk stockings. I don't know where he was. I don't know where he got them from. Probably from the Yankees. But he was out in Japan somewhere. But we were only friends.
So 43, Christmas 43 would have been the year that you did get kind of nice treats. And
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. And of course we used to go up to the American place up
Rainbow Corner.
Rainbow Corner, yes, it with American, like a canteen thing,
Yes.
you know. We used to see Cyril Fletcher up there and Anne Shelton and all them names. And used to have a good doing the rock and roll and that, you know, the bit where you go under the legs and over the back. I mean, look at me now, but I used to do that. It was quite good.
Jitterbugging, yes.
Jitterbugging, the word. And because we used to go there, the Astoria, Tottenham Court Road. And, because we used to get free tickets, you see.
How did you manage that?
Well, you see, being in military, you got so many complimentary tickets, you see, to go to shows and things. I mean, I went to a show once with a free ticket and I was bored out of my mind. It was, they came to a city with Gucci Withers. Do you remember Gucci Withers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was horrible. It was bored out of my mind. I took a yank there and we both went to sleep off it. You know, free tickets. None of them were free. Yeah, so Christmases sort of got better as you got along.
How long would you get off when you were at the hospital? What days would you actually get off?
I worked long hours.
Would you get Christmas Day off, or would you have to work?
No, I would have to work. Unless, of course, it was a day off on your rota.
Yes, but if otherwise... So you'd have your Christmas dinner as just waited on, like you said, but then you'd go back to work.
You'd have to go back to work if it was on, you know, if you were on duty.
Yeah. So could you work Christmas Day and Boxing Day?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They never changed it. Never changed it. You couldn't go to them and say, I want so-and-so day off. I mean, I had a day off and a half day. Other times it was 7:30 to 7:30, long hours.
Very, yeah.
I mean, and not only did you had to learn to cook, but you had to do all the other things in the kitchen as well. Cleaning, vegetable preparing, and all that. It was all done like a military, you know, base sort of thing. Everything done at the time, you know. But it was good. It was good training. Good training. I liked it.
When, just to finish off, I haven't got enough room on the tape there, definitely.
Oh, why are we talking that long?
When were you've told us before when we were with the children, but when were you nearly killed by this aeroplane?
Yes.
When would that be?
Oh, well, if I was, I must have been about 16 and a half, 17 when that happened. Yes, must have been.
What time of the year would that be?
Oh, summertime. Yes, I can't say it was getting dark, so it must have been summertime. Yes, as I say, there'd been an air raid in the afternoon. All clear had gone. He went on duty, going across to the kitchens, and he came out of the sky. No warning, just let go of his guns. As I say, they went, not that, you know, when it got them on the tape, but it really shook me.
Yeah, that would lead on. Yes, I know the story of the near machine gunning.
That's right.
But can you remember, particularly around the Christmas, if possible, but things like air raids around the Christmas time? I mean, I gather they didn't. Is it right? They didn't actually bomb any at Christmas ever, right on Christmas, as far as I can make out. But close.
Close to Christmas. Because I remember my father. I think I've told you my father was in the AFS.
In the
AFS.
What's
Auxiliary Fire
Service, right?
Yes. And I remember he was on duty, so he came home.
Over Christmas?
Over Christmas. And he came home with his eyebrows singed and his hair singed, dog-tired and red all around the eyes. So I think there must have been something.
Did he tell you what he'd been doing? Did he explain?
No, he didn't. But I remember him saying there was something, if I remember, something along the Thames. He was on the Thames branch. So whatever there was, or a warehouse or what, it was along the Thames. So, you know.
Did he didn't speak about it particularly?
He didn't, no, not to me, but he's only what I picked up. No, he was the sort of father that I think conversed with.
Any idea what year that would have been? Just to put it in context.
Yes, that would have been.
It would have been 39, obviously, because it hadn't happened. No,
yes.
Right. So, was it the Blitz year, 40? Perhaps.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. I've got an old a calendar indoors with my father on it.
Your father on it?
Yes.
What, a picture of him on it?
A picture of him fighting with the hose pipe in his hand with his group of colleagues.
I would love to see that.
Would you like to see that?
Yeah,
Would you? I'll bring it in then, Andy. And that's 1940.
Right.
So, but I think it's got on there something about Barbican.
Yes.
The Barbican on fire or something, 1939. When this picture was actually taken. So I don't know what happened then.
Yeah.
Because it might have been printed in 39, but it's got 1940 on the calendar.
Yes, yeah.
I don't understand a bit, but anyway, I'll bring it in to show you.
So you can't remember actually at Christmas having to take cover either from the hospital? Or...
No. Of course, in the hospital, you see,
you didn't anyway.
No, but you did your fire service up on the roof, you know. You know, if the bombs fall in the fire.
At night.
At night.
Did you?
After duty.
You have to do that at Christmas.
You have to do that at Christmas. Well, you were on the road, you were up there doing your watching. Christmas and no Christmas.
Did anybody bring you anything to cheer you along?
Oh well, yeah, there's rather a funny story there. If I can tell you.
Yeah, of course you can.
Well, there's fire watching, and I was having a bit of a kiss and cuddle, you know, with one of the officers. See, handsome fellow, he was on the mend. So anyway, along came the matron, and she said, "Margaret, aren't you fire watching?" "Yes, matron." "Well, go on then, get up that ladder on that roof." So, of course, I had a skirt on, see? I went up the ladder, not realising they could all see up my kilt, see? And there's a great deal of laughing, see? So I said, "What are you all laughing at?" You know. I said, "Well, you should have put your trousers on," he said, "going up there," because that was the first time I realised that they could see up my clothes.
So that was actually in the ward you had to do that? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Up a ladder in the ward, where did it lead to?
Well, it led to the roof. See? Yeah.
What, through a trap door?
Through a trap door onto the roof. And then you'd have your pail and your stir pump thing and, you know.
And how long would you have to do?
Oh, you only did this thing to about an hour, I think.
I guess you gave them all a treat.
Yeah, I gave them all the treat. That was their Christmas treat, I reckon. Oh, yeah.
That probably put them on the mend a bit.
Yeah. Oh, funny stories. Now I think they're funny, didn't at the time.
Mm. What uniform did you wear? What was your...
Oh, no, it was like a nurse's uniform, but we had a different cap, see. Because they were all used to say, I used to say I was a nurse, you know, I'm an auxiliary, because we all had to wear a badge, you see, you know, saying that we do it. But I always wanted to join the Land Army, you know, and I went to the offices in Oxford Street to join, and they said, "No, you can't join because you're in, what do they call that word?"
Essential,
yes,
essential work.
Essential work. But I always wanted to be in the Land Army.
What about the end, Christmas 45, because it was technically over. I mean, it wasn't fully over.
Yes.
It wasn't fully over, was it?
Not really. No, I was married in, 1949, you know, and of course, I was still on rations then.
Yes, yeah. But people must have celebrated in Christmas 45, I should think, because...
Yes, they must have
But
done.
mind you, it wasn't fully over, was it?
It wasn't really over, no. I mean, the men weren't home, were they?
No, there was just no bombing anymore.
No, it was just a sort of mopping up operations.
Or were they still, were the V1s and the V2s
Oh,
still
well,
at it in 45?
Yes,
still
we
in
forget
45?
them. Yes, we forget them. We think of bombing us from planes. But
That's right, it'd be Christmas 44 would be like that, but then by Christmas 45 Germany had surrendered in mid 45 or...
Yeah.
Because VE Day was...
That's right, I mean, them rockets, they were shocking. I remember sitting in the pictures of the Odeon at Muswell Hill, and even above the pictures, noise, you could hear this drumming, and suddenly stopped. Downhill shot under the sea, as flat as we could get, and all the debris coming in. Yes, you never knew where you'd be or what you were doing. In fact, I had a friend, and she lived at East Ham, and on a day off she went to visit her mum and dad. She never came home. she would kill. The thing is, they never told you. I mean, you just used to say, oh, so-and-so, you know, Mary never came back last night. And then a couple of days after Mary, you know, they'd be collecting Mary's things, you know, from out the drawer. You know, then you'd casually get, oh, yeah, she died. She was caught in an air raid. Things like that, you know. But I can remember.
Stop for the last
You've got to eat, haven't you?
I can't, yeah.